Hello and welcome back to episode 16 of my Space Engineers Vanilla Let's Play. I'm working on completing the other side of this grand station. I did go ahead and get a conveyor line, run all the way over to this other side to another large cargo container, just like on that side. And I have laid down some stuff over here, the basics of what I want in here. Got 4 large cargo containers, 12 hydrogen engines, and 2 large warfare reactors. And I think that'll be pretty good for over here. Unlike the other building, I'm not going to have this entered from right here because, well, for one, I mismatched this when I came back and landed again. I had to go into space to get crap loads of iron because I ran out this spot down here. So I have close to 1 million iron ingots now. In this cargo, 848,000, 444,000 ore to be cut down. So at least I've got enough iron to be able to complete this. I'm not going to have enough cobalt and everything though, because the floor is going to be light armor, but the walls around this place and the ceiling are going to be heavy armor. And I also want to make sure I get another conveyor in here to be able to move things upwards so that this can have guns on its roof. I don't think I really need that over here on this building because I'm planning on using this right here to be able to pull out and make myself a wall of guns to protect this on this side. That said, I haven't had any more problems since the last recording of Pirates, so I should be alright. I suppose let's get started on a couple of these and one of these. And then I still, of course, need to do all of the piping up underneath, but let's go ahead and get some of this put together. That's going to be a lot of steel, isn't it? Okay. I'll just go ahead and get these 3 devices welded up real quick. And then work on this bit of tying things together under here. Ouch. I thought I had gone far enough back. Apparently not. And I need to get back upstairs quickly.
Fuel critical.
Because I used up a lot of my hydrogen flying around. Well, it's a lot quicker and easier to get into this med bay than it is to get into the one on the ship. The ship, which I will actually be unplugging as soon as I get this stuff all online over here. Because it won't actually be needed to continue running this base anymore once that is done. Okay, I'm betting this is just the rest of the steel for that. Yep. And then 1 steel plate, which is leftovers I had because of cutting the other thing down. So let's just throw that back in there. Such a pretty scene when the weather clears for a moment, but here's the fog already coming back. Alright, so I've got one of those ready to be welded up completely now. This should be the other one. Yep. And now we're working on the parts here. 2,000 reactor components required. I'm not entirely sure I have the silver and gravel I need for that. I have the iron, but it also requires silver and gravel. If I don't have enough for that, then I'll just skip that part. And work on getting everything put together underneath here. Which would be a lot easier if I had something already connected up here, but you know, I was not thinking that far ahead. Oh, hit the wall of what it's got made. Let's just go ahead and get these welded up. Already did. Okay, whatever. Doo-doo-doo. So I don't have much hydrogen on the base. So the other thing I'm wanting to do today is actually build something for mining ice instead of just my little hydrogen cargo vessel here. Build an actual miner, make it easier. And a large part of me is thinking that that should be a large grid, just so I can get all of the chunks of ice in one go. Which is why I'm wanting to get this stuff online over here so I can move the Stargazer and build a large ship over there. But yeah, I probably do not have enough to get all of those reactor components. So I still need 1428. Hydrogen getting low again. You know what, I'm just gonna jump in here. Easier than going through all the doors. Does take longer to get the power back though. But yeah, I think for the most part this base will be run off of hydrogen, but I do want the large reactors here because they put out much more power. And if I happen to run out of hydrogen because of how quickly these things burn through it, it would be nice to not run out of power. Alright, I do have my batteries up on the 3rd floor of the main manufacturing building. Which I just realized I did not do that on camera. I did say where I was going to put them and everything. Well, let's go ahead and run in here and show that stuff off. I can actually close this door now, but I guess I haven't bothered. But I don't need to because I have air everywhere. But yeah, shoved all of these batteries in here, 16 of them. Then I've got one more battery on the 2nd floor in the apartment. All this seems to be working pretty good. So let's see here, if I go to production, it appears as though these are all completed. Well, I can hope I actually have everything I need to finish up that large reactor. Fortunately, like I said, I've got all of this connected to the other side, so getting it all out here should be quite easy. And I'm surprised. I actually think I do have all of them. It's just a matter of getting it all installed. And perhaps not flying so fast that I just waste time having to fly back to things. Alright, and last bit. Here we go. So on the large reactors, or on any reactors, I tend to turn off the automatic push-pull. I like to make sure I know exactly how much is going into them. Let's see, I need interior. I don't have any interior plates. And I don't feel like tracking down the right one, so let's just do this. Whoops, I just got rid of my welder, so let's put that back. Character tools, tier 3 welder. Thank you. I don't actually need that on the hotbar, but I just did 1 craft of everything and then 3 more crafts. This is also going to give me lots of construction components, which is good. Tend to run out of those rather frequently. And they're also going to be needed here. So let's see. This one here is lined up to be able to hit the others, so we'll do that there. And then this can be a curve, because that's actually going to be an end point. T section on each of these. Actually, this one can also be a curve. That is yet again an end point. So from right here, I want to come down, then over, and then let's see, 1 more curve right there. We'll get that nice and connected. All right. And then let's go ahead and throw in the curves that are needed here. It's just going to be 1 there and 1 there. Fascinating. Okay, so let's see. All right, this one is still lined up with all the rest, so let's go ahead and grab that one. And let's just go ahead and do a T here. And then curve this one out. It is really hot in here today. So I might pause this up for a moment so that I can go and try to get this air conditioner being more effective for me. But let's see if I can actually achieve finishing this first. And then I can just go away and get this welded up off camera. All right, and I forgot these pipes here. There we go. All right, so I will bring this back in just a moment, and I'll have all of that down there welded up. I did a nice little slope here because I think, like I said, I'm not going to make this building to where you get to it from that walkway. In any case, back in a few minutes. All right, I have a couple more minutes before a bunch of noise arrives, so let's just go ahead and get this thing moved. I've already unlocked myself, so let's just pick this up and move. Ignore any noise that happens in the background. This is dogs coming back from their playtime. I just wanted to make sure I got the moving of this ship on camera. And waiting to see those rear landing gear be ready to park. There we go, okay. So I will bring this back in a moment once I am prepared to start building this other ship that I'm really hoping I can have operational by the end of episode. Alright, so I've got a little bit of a start of a frame here that I am working on welding up at the moment. 4 large cargo containers should be a good start, I think. Okay, what have I got in here? Oh, stuff for the tanks. So let's just go ahead and drop 1 tank on each side here. I guess like most things on this planet, I'm going to be doing hydrogen. This means I'll be able to go into space and mine with it, as well as mine here on Europa itself. And I've got the 4 large cargo containers and 2 tanks queued up. And there's all of the parts that I had. So now working on the rest. Fortunately, it does not take long with the 8 assemblers I have going on up there. And if I can get these middle 2 cargo containers welded up, I'll actually be able to pull things right out of here, because I have that all connected underneath. I just went ahead and snuck under here and put in a T connection to a solid connector to 2, or conveyor to 2 connectors. There we go. Now I don't have to go back and forth. And I can just weld all this up from here. This is just going to be a utility mining vessel, so it's not really going to have armor on it. It shouldn't really need that, because I'm going to be avoiding combat as much as possible in this. Even more so than I did with the Stargazer, which actually has guns on it. Right, there we go. I've got those 2 tanks put together. Now it's just the rest of these cargo containers. I went with the regular large cargo container because it's got more connections. It's got a connector on each side, or a conveyor slot on each side, unlike the industrial, which only has 4 of the 6 sides with conveyor ports. Alright, so that was all of what I had thus far, and I think I need a couple more tanks, so let's just go ahead and get those cooking, because this is going to be quite a heavy craft, especially when it's coming back fully loaded. And the front here think I want one more cargo container on the front, just so I can make sure it's far enough away from my thrusters to be able to have a drill wall on it. That is the beauty of the large grid mining vessels. Alright, now the problem is, of course, I don't have enough hydrogen on base to do more than 3%. Oh wait, that 3% is on 2 tanks upstairs. I got 4 tanks here. So, 1.5%? Give or take? That's not going to be so good. So I am going to have to, in between episodes, go out and do some hand mining with my little cargo ship over there just to bring ice back and have that working on here. Now this should be more than 3 blocks. Oh wait, that's going to have to be from the tip of the thrusters, so I'll still have to count all of that out. So I have no clue yet if that's going to be far enough. I hope it is, because I do not want to burn my drill wall. I need that. But if nothing else, I could always drop another cargo container up there. And I'm going to need definitely to put conveyors here so that I can get enough downward thrust. I don't think this connector is going to be here at all. I might actually go for a rear connect on this, and I'll just have to build a connection point for it somewhere. But let's see. We've got that basic stuff in. Let's go ahead and get a cockpit on here in the back. For large grid, you are very limited in which ones you can use. Of course, that connects at the top, so that's not going to work. There's just these two for large grid. So let's get all of that cooking while I go and refill up my hydrogen. With my high DPI, it is often hard to hit these buttons. But it is what it is. There we go. Fortunately, with 0.25 Gs, falling down there doesn't hurt. Alright. So yeah, let's just go ahead and put this on the last one. I'll be flying this whole thing by camera, so I won't really need to be able to see things, which is great. Let's see. I can't really put anything in between here. So I will need a little bit of leeway on the back for other things. I guess let's go ahead and get these primary thrusters in so we can figure out what's going on here. So give me some steel. I still have some. That's good. No, I have more than some. I have a good bit. So let's get these large thrusters on here so I can make sure that I have the right distance. I probably do not. That said, I am not afraid of adding more cargo space, so long as I can carry all of this across the surface of this moon. Alright, so that's going to give me 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 down-facing thrusters. Dogs are being crazy again. Okay. Yep, I'm going to need one more large cargo up here, because I think these actually go out 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So yeah, one more large cargo container. We put stuff away. And I don't have any interior plates. So let's go ahead and do that little trick again. Oh, I don't actually need that there. Let me put my thrusters back. I am going to need those there. 10, 20, 30, 40 of those. If I could learn to type, that'd be great. Okay. So I can just use the roof up here for gyroscopes, and I think that should be fine. I'm not going to need that many down-facing thrusters. At least that's the hope. Whoops. Helps if I actually put that in the planner. And I don't have the rest of the parts, so if I grab steel back again, let's go page 2, gyro. Oh, I have to go dead center. And I'm not sure if this will be enough gyroscopes. Because I do need some downward thrust. Okay, there we go. There's all of that. And how many did I put? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I don't think that's going to be enough. So I will come up with something different for the gyroscopes. I am going to need power here, and I believe that I can actually get to hang on much better. So let's just get rid of those. Shouldn't need those anymore. Batteries will run fine on this. So let's just go ahead and put there's 5, 7. Yeah, 7 batteries ought to work pretty good. Get all the steel into these. Well, if I can not fall off of my ship, that'd be nice. Alright, there's all the steel and construction. Now it's just computers and power cells. Now I can use these to put 6 gyroscopes there. Like I said, I'm planning on driving this by camera rather than actually needing to see from the cockpit there, so that'll be alright. I might want an oxygen tank up here as well, just to make sure I always have plenty of oxygen. Oh, yep, these are going to take a little bit, because I can't carry that much. There we go. This thing has its own power now. Kind of. I will shove all those on recharge once I've got them all built. The base here has like 4 days worth of power right now, and that's just running off of the batteries. There we go. Let's go ahead and get this from this side. Will probably work better. Oh, that makes it quick and easy. There we go. 7 batteries all welded up. Now let's go ahead and grab these and put them on recharge. And now I can grab some steel and put gyroscopes up there, and it should work better. I don't know, I've got them on the second page, but I have empty slots here, so. Always turning the opposing direction of where I need you. Very not useful. Okay, so these will take a little bit to weld up. I'll get those off camera. And yeah, it's a good thing I'm going to be driving by camera. Speaking of, let's go ahead and get a conveyor block. I don't need that anymore. Don't need those anymore. And let's put the thrusters further up on the list. And drills. And a camera. And right now I'm just doing the camera and conveyor. Okay, light down at the bottom left. There we go. So now if I come back over here, number 3 should be that camera. And there we go. I'll also put a reverse camera on here once I know what's going to be going on in the reverse section. But let's see. Yep, time to start grabbing some steel and interior plates. So I can start building out this welding wall, and that shouldn't be able to burn the weld wall up here on the nose. At least that's the hope. Don't be in the way of the drills, and maybe that'll work better. I'm just going to be building this weld wall large enough to weld all the way around so that this can tunnel mine if it needs to. Alright. So with large grid drills, it's pretty easy to get things set up here because you just need one space in between and it will drive right through. Oh, I missed one over here. Probably missed another one somewhere. Let me look. Nope, just missed that one. So that will cover the majority of the ship, but not the whole thing. The bottom should be perfectly fine. though I could go ahead and drag it out sideways some, would be useful. This will also be welding up off camera. It's going to be much work. Whoops. Oh good, it did lay down right. I thought I laid it down wrong. Let's just come through here. There we go. So yeah, I'll build this out more on the way, but don't think I actually need that. So I'm going to have a couple more drills here and here. That'll be the top. I do hope that I have the right distance for the thrusters there. I will find out very quickly if I don't as I take off and burn my drills. Okay, that should actually have the whole thing covered, and that's an oops. That should be here and then there. Which means I also missed one above it. Just get that in there. There we go. That will definitely be a nice drill wall. And I'll be able to actually see around or through those thanks to my little camera there. So this should work great. The other thing I'm going to need here is an ore detector and antenna. So let's go ahead and take that off of here. Ore detector, antenna. So the ore detector, I'll just stuff right here on the back of the weld wall. And then right behind that, let's go with the parabolic antenna. There we go. All right. And let's see, I've got 37 minutes on this video thus far. I'm going to have to do a bunch of mining before I can actually finish this thing. But I've got my gyroscopes, got power, hydrogen, the drills, primary tools I need overall. So yeah, it's just going to be putting all of my thrusters on here, getting those all welded up, and getting enough hydrogen to take off in this thing. So actually it's just about done. But I am pretty much out of time for today. It is my wife's turn on her computer, and I need to get out of here. So if you enjoyed today's video, go ahead and hit the like button down below. And if you want to see what I'm getting up to next time, there is always that subscribe button. So until next time, have a good one.